So we're going to talk about your memoir. This is not real life. Um, I've been telling people that you were the original e-girl. You were the first one that I noticed. But does that make you the original e-girl? Were you doing
Boxy was.
True. Sorry, never mind. Okay.
like something new around 2015, 2016?
I mean, it's not a label I wear proudly, but sure, I'll take it. Original e-girl.
You're the first one. Okay, so maybe it's
Hold on. When somebody says e-girl, what do you think of?
I mean, pretty much like kind of like a boxy type streamer girl.
Like big.
I wouldn't go big boobs. No.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Like big eyeliner wings and like there's like an e-girl
Yeah.
aesthetic and yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I don't know if I would consider any of the. Can you be blonde and be an e-girl? No, I'm just kidding. That's too far. I don't know if I would consider these people, or like Lauren or any of these people, e-girls. I feel like the closest would have been that boxy look-alike shoe on head, but even that, I'm not sure I would consider an e-girl. I don't know. I also feel like e-girls have to be involved in like
Usually from the gaming sphere.
gaming or gaming adjacent. Yeah.
a little bit condescending. I don't mean it. Okay, so you're online and you're a girl. It is,
Yeah.
but like being first is kind of cool, right?
I think someone in the chat just said patient zero in the culture war. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of cool, but also, you do. Sorry, I'm getting a call right now. Not good.
Yeah. Damn.
You do kind of take the initial slings and arrows and have to learn everything first and foremost the hard way. So all the initial cancellations, like I had no idea what I was getting into when I went viral at 19 years old. I had no idea there would be blogs documenting my every move. I had no idea there'd be a wiki feet page set up for me. I had no idea I'd have like stalkers flying out to find my family and where I live. I didn't like online virality was very, very new in 2015 when it initially happened to me. So you get all the excitement of going viral, you get all the dopamine and all the people loving and following you and cheering you on, but I really didn't know what I was signing up for at that age.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I would see you, and it was just exciting because it was like first it was like, oh, here's a pretty girl who hates immigrants, and
Wait, hold on. I work with SMA antennas a lot, Wi-Fi at all, and most of the time the panel mount connectors are replaceable. Your unit might have this BNC on the panel, but go to some smaller connector to attach to the PCB. That should be replaceable, e.g. if the inside is a... Sure, it might be. I'm just saying, I know that if I unscrew this thing on the outside, like if I unscrew this nut and nothing moves, nothing comes out. So I'm pretty sure I would have to open the panel up and then look inside. And maybe I could do it. That's work. All right, we'll see.
multiculturalism and feminism. This is what I've been looking for. This is like what this is the template. And now you see these women online, and it's just like it's kind of boring. They're not even like. At least you did some real reporting. I mean, you went places, you interviewed people, you produced some documentaries. Now it's just like, here's me in a bikini, and I'm racist, and repeal the 19th Amendment, and like they try to do something with it. It's like
That's crazy. I remember publishing a video it had to be 2018, where I said I was stepping back from YouTube to make documentaries full time because I did not understand how so many people were still watching these YouTube videos. Like we were on the 400th rendition of Feminists Suck. And I'm like, how many Sargon of Akkad videos, how many of my own videos can I watch where I just find a new way to say woke bad? And like I could look at the title of one of these YouTube videos and predict every single thing this person was going to say, even if it was like an hour-long live stream. And it could not I could not get my head around how we were still doing this. Like, we have to get new things to talk about. We can't just repackage the same stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on documentaries. And part of that was also me wanting to get out of the right-wing social sphere. I wanted to...
Can you talk to Richard Moore? He's probably the only reasonable centrist. Maybe. I just don't know what we'd chat about. I need to do more... I wish there were more, like, communities to, like, be a part of. We need, like, one other community thing to be a part of, okay? We'll figure it out. What
do you mean?
Well, like, I feel like one thing that was nice about streamers is streamers, just by virtue of streaming so much, would have communities. YouTubers don't have like communities as much. Like, like think of like Brian Tyler Cohen or David Pakman even. These are big online people, but like, where is their community at? You know, like I don't think they have a large community presence, and it's nice to have multiple communities. You know?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. So like, would you say like? I don't know, IRI, I would say is a community, but he's a streamer, right?
Yeah.
Are you looking more into like that direction, more like friends with other community members and like hosting them and like bringing them on and like talking and like maybe like a live and learn-esque podcast type thing, or what do you mean?
No, just like being into like, well, so for the brief moment in time before Ethan lost his mind, the H3H3 community, it was nice to have like a second community that was kind of like in a similar sphere. Like it's very annoying that when you fight with Hassan, or if I fight with any right winger, these people can like can send for the bannerman, basically, like light the torches or call for Gondor, and you've got all these other communities that don't even normally associate with these people like showing up for it to like in their defense. It feels like there's nothing like that for like center left communities. It's kind of annoying.
Yep.
Kind of isolate and do my own content where I'm on my own and I don't have to kind of be in these weird.
Go to Less Online, the Less Wrong meetup. Rationalists are very adjacent to you, and there's probably a Slate Star Codex guy meetup near you in spring. Maybe. Libertarian types just scare me because they don't treat politics with the respect and reverence that it deserves. So they all end up like intellectualizing their way into these quasi-libertarian positions that are just not very fun to engage with. But I don't know. Maybe it's unfair for me to characterize all of them that way. To be fair, I think most of what I see Scott write, most of what I see Scott write, I think is pretty good. Even like politically oriented stuff. I just don't know how I feel about a lot of other people in that community. I'm not sure. Like, I love Ayla to death, even though most of you guys fucking hate her. 50 because she's a woman, and then 50% because her political opinions are kind of dumb. No, I shouldn't say dumb, but a lot of her political opinions are really bad. And I'm like, okay. Dustin, you created that. You had the election stream too. Well, yeah, but that was before my rape case. Which 59 days, okay? Listen. What? Well, no, actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to say, finally, fuck it, we'll just go to trial. Less than 2 months. I think our calendar call for trial is May 18th. So less than 2 months. Hopefully, please God, hopefully the judge doesn't push anything back. And yeah.
Election stream on track.
So all of us are going to show up at the courthouse and
That's right.
see if Abby shows up, and then we're going to argue for 2 hours over whether or not Abby is a credible witness. And then the jury's going to make their decision. And, well, she might show up. We'll see. No party depositions, no deposition or evidence from Abby. We're just all going to the courthouse. We're just going to have the debate of our lives. Whew.
Just tell your lawyer I got this.
It's really hard when DGG will just giga shit on anyone if they have a minor disagreement. Do you think this behavior could be curbed by some heavy moderation against it? I don't know. It's hard. I try to control for that pretty hard, but it's very, very, very difficult to... That's just the nature. It's unfortunate. It's the nature of a lot of online communities. Like you see it happen in basically... Yeah, you see it happen in basically every single online community where as soon as there's slight disagreements, people go fucking crazy. I've seen this happening a lot with, I think I brought this up as an example before, like the ARC stuff. Like ARC came out, was super popular, and then the counter jerk appeared almost immediately. And then there's like a counter jerk, and it's just like, this is just like the nature of online communities for some reason. I don't know why.
Sphere, I wanted to kind of isolate and do my own content where I'm on my own and I don't have to kind of be in these weird...
Can I ask how much of a financial hit this court case plus the YouTube demonetization has caused? I'd say a little bit north of $1 million, but you know, it's just a small congressional race. What are you going to do? 6-figure retainer for the lawyer nowadays. What song is that? 21, 21, 21? I don't remember. Whatever.
Do my own content where I'm on my own and wanting to get out of the right-wing social sphere. I wanted to kind of isolate and do my own content where I'm on my own and I don't have to kind of be in these weird... I mean, I was discovering some of the more criminal, crazy circles that I was brushing shoulders with at the time. So yeah, I was seeing it back then, and I still don't. I think the reason that it's maintained now is certainly post-COVID, a lot of new people logged in and are checked into the online sphere that weren't before. There's a lot more young people. So it's kind of like a new slew of people getting into the anti-woke content that is just repackaged content from 10 years ago with a new face. But yeah, not a lot of people going out there. It costs too much. It is cost prohibitive to go out and make documentaries. It's cost prohibitive to go out and come up with new content and new subjects. You actually have to sit there and think, and you make way more money just posting rage bait. There's no cost to it. You sit in your house, you turn on a camera, you get people mad, and it's just number go up. It's cost prohibitive to make original things.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the laziness of it is what gets me. And I remember in your book, you talk about at some point, yeah, like how many times can I say feminism is bad? I watch some of these people. You
should really try to build a bridge with Michael Tracy and Matt Taibbi. So Tracy's in town, and he messaged me, and we're trying to set up something to chat. I have zero respect for Taibbi as a human being, and I wouldn't trust myself to be in the same room with him with all my... Just kidding. That was way too edgy. I hate Matt Taibbi. I think he's a disgusting and deplorable human being. Why? I think he's a fake journalist. Just... people just don't... I shouldn't have to say this, okay? Like, when people ask me why, it's like a guy just stabbed to death some dude for no reason. It's like, well, why was that bad? Do you know what the entire premise of, like, the Twitter files was?
No.
Like, the entire premise of the Twitter files was the wealthiest man in the world just bought a social media company, and now he's inviting journalists to come and talk to his employees at the new company that he just bought to try to dig up dirt on the last owner. Like, the entire premise of that is incredibly fucking skewed. And then the fact that all of the people that went there engaged, all the journalists, quote unquote journalists that went there engaged with that premise uncritically is unfathomably crazy to me. Like, oh, you're going to do free PR for a billionaire guy who just bought this company? Whoa. Tell me more about how the new owner wants to trash the last owner. Wow. Really? Crazy, dude.
Makes sense.
I know you said you wouldn't pay off Redacted, but is the math to the point to where it would have made sense to do that insane payout she asked for at the beginning? So one, you can't really retroactively do that. The biggest thing that I underestimated in this whole court case is I love everybody and I respect everything about our judicial system and I love and respect everything about the United States, but I didn't know that maybe there's just 6 months where you get no rulings on anything. That's just a thing that I just didn't intuitively, I just didn't know that could happen. Number one. Number two, so she extorted me for $1 million, but the legal demand was $15 million. So when she was suicide baiting, that was when she was making the $1 million request, which I'm just never giving it I don't give it any blackmail. You can't, if somebody's gonna blackmail you, just say, fuck it, release your shit. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna do suicide baited blackmail. And then the legal demands were $15 million and she's never budged from that. And also, like, keep in mind, there's a different cost. You're buying different things with each of those. So remember, any settlement we do is going to come out with me always looking basically like a rapist. Like, people are going to assume the worst because any settlement we do, even if we have like non-disparagement clauses, even if we release like a mutual statement, it's just going to be impossible because people are just going to like, oh, he probably bought her off because he was guilty of everything, right? So there's that. And then there's also the fact that after she released the Substack, there's just no way that we're ever settling on anything because there's no world where she's ever going to be able to walk back all of the insane things that Lauren wrote for her in that Substack. She'll just never, I know she would never do it. Well, she hasn't done it. She hasn't agreed to any of it either, right? And even when we tried to settle our disagreements, they never budged from their $15 million ask, so. Yeah. But like at some point the money, like let's say she was asking for $1 million, and let's say that to go all the way to trial and get a win is 1.5 million. I'd probably pay the 1.5 million because at least I can say, look, I literally won in court. Why would I, why would I pay $1 million for a settlement that is not going to like vindicate me in the eyes of the public, right? There's no point in that.
You can look at their videos or you can look at their articles 10 years apart and you would not be able to tell like what decade it was made. I mean, it's amazing. Can I say feminism is bad? I watch some of these people. You can look at their videos or you can look at their articles 10 years apart.
Is there any amount you would have settled for, or is there, I feel like we were talking about this before. Is there any amount you would have settled for his reputation? Once she released the Substack, it was basically impossible to settle. She put herself in a position that she couldn't maneuver from, and then I can't because there's just no way. I can't. That Substack is crazy. The Substack she wrote was fucking crazy. There's nothing I can. Yeah, at that point, sorry.
Camera, you get people mad, and it's just number go up.
When is the trial? It's supposed to be May 18th, I believe.
It's cost prohibitive to make original things.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the laziness of it is what gets me. And I remember in your book, you talk about at some point, yeah, like how many times can I say feminism is bad? I watch some of these people. You can look at their videos or you can look at their articles 10 years apart and you would not be able to tell like what decade it was made. I mean, it's amazing. It's like you thought wokeness and like people denying differences between men and women was like a big issue in 2014. Like, okay, you're in 2026 and you're still citing the same studies and making the same videos and making the exact same argument. It's like, what is this, low intelligence? Like, what is it about people that they just need to hear the same thing over and over?
Well, it's a formula. It's a comfort thing. It's the same reason people watch reruns of Seinfeld over and over or The Office and won't go out and find new content. It's comfortable and predictable. And it's funny because this is coming from the camp that often talk about how they want to push boundaries and be offensive. Every show name is like some energy drink or WWE wrestling match. We're going to be crosshairs, offensive, like breaking new ground. And it is the same comment over and over and over again. Or my favorite is when people say, I'm going to say something that might get me canceled, but they say the safest thing possible that their audience are going to cheer on no matter what. Like literally saying the opposite of what they were going to.
These are my talking points. I know she stole these from me. Trust me, I know. Somehow.
Schizo.
I
know. Get them canceled in their sphere, but no, it's exhausting. And I don't I don't think these people are seriously engaged in politics. I don't think they're interested in it. I think that it's algorithm. They're looking at number go up, view go up, and they're just predicting what to say based on that. The people that are seriously engaged in politics are going to be on the margins of the popular culture. Usually they're going to be the ones that people don't like that much because you're changing or challenging the status quo of the certain groups that are challenging each other in the popular culture. But yeah.
Is it wrong to think that next to no one would not, even know her clips got leaked if this didn't go to court? Yes, of course. The main drivers, I think it was probably her dad partially, because I think she probably lied to her dad and told her that she was a virgin, number one. So that was a whole weird convo she had. And then two, it was Lauren De Laguna, that now I have really, really good reason to believe was pushing everything in the background. So I think those are the two huge people that pushed it in that direction, yeah.
Don't like that much because you're changing or challenging the status quo.
Do you think the Lauren De Laguna lady was just pushing it out of spite? On you?
Yeah, because she hates me, yes. Absolutely.
And does she hate you because you wouldn't date her?
Yes.
Or is
it sounds stupid,
yeah,
but
no,
like...
I understand, yeah.
Also something... I don't know if I mentioned this on stream, but I've gotten like so many random messages. This dude, I don't know how I run into these people. I've gotten so many fucking random messages from people who like have heard of her or know her like historically, that where she's just been involved in just like crazy stupid shit. Even past like all the public weird shit that I've seen that she's involved in. Hold on. Did I ever send this? Do you see in Dark Triad?
No. I'm gonna need to read it.
Sure. And like this guy has like pictures of her when she's like 22 or whatever. So it's like I'm pretty sure it's real. But like so many crazy stories like this of her like stalking guys, getting obsessed with them, trying to destroy their life. Like I don't know how she's done this. Well, I know how she's done this because she's not a public figure, so there's no like trail of stuff. When I do my big write up at the end of this case, though, it's like there's going to be a significant section that's like dedicated to her history, because people need to know before associating with this person that she does the same pattern. She's doing it right now, actually. I'll talk about that as well. She's doing it right now, actually. Again, playing the same pattern over and over and over and over and over again.
Jesus Christ, yeah. So you're not like the fucking first victim on her radar?
No, not even close.
Huh.
Culture, usually they're going to be the ones that people don't like that much because you're changing or challenging the status quo of the certain groups that are challenging each other in the popular culture. But yeah, it's boring. I just find it boring. I tried to acquiesce to it for a bit. I talked about this.
Is she hoping that a jury trial will give her an advantage by victimizing herself? Seems like a very transparent strategy. It's just to waste my time and money. It's just to waste my resources and to attack my reputation for as long as possible. That's it. She doesn't care about any of this at all. She knows she's not planning on winning. She doesn't take the case serious at all. You saw how like much of a fucking retard she looked like when she went up on the stand for the hearing. Like, she's not taking it seriously. She's not reading anything or keeping tabs on anything. Or like Lauren admitted that her and Pixie were deleting evidence. They were using Signal the whole fucking time. Like, she's like they haven't gotten anything in discovery. Like, it's all just a big joke to her. She's doing her shitty fucking law school so that she could become her next fucking family mob lawyer once she graduates from her with her shitty law degree. Like, that's just her track on life. When you come from wealth, when you're in rich families, feels good. Okay.
But yeah, it's boring. I just find it boring. I tried to acquiesce to it for a bit. I talked about this when I was doing stuff with Tenet Media. I'm like, okay, maybe I can do like one more woke bad video and use it to fund more serious content. But it just took up all my time, drained my soul, and was just another compromise so that I could keep a career going that was in its death knells, because it was just based on tagging along with this movement that I somehow got involved with when I was 19 years old.
Yeah, and that's one thing I liked and kind of admired. You kind of disappeared, and you didn't just milk it. Like, you had a lot of fans, you had a lot of fame. You were the first mover. You're still young, by the way. You had like these e-girls now are like, they're pretending to be young and they're like 40, and like
I hope you have evidence of it, then you can get it for spoliation. I don't know if we'll file. I don't know if we still can file. Oh no, we can. I think until I think the deadline is actually the 31st. I think it's in 12 days is our deadline to file anything. But I don't know if it's worth it, because all spoliation does is get me favorable things, but I don't even know how much of that is even going to show up in court. Because again, the only thing they can talk about is the Abby thing. None of the Lauren De Laguna stuff is technically related to my case, like on the claims themselves. And then it's going to cost me money because I have to pay money to file the motion, and then they're going to do a response, and then I got to pay money to file the reply. I don't know.
Why does this guy keep saying e-girl? I don't know. Do you not find that weird? I find it weird.
Well, he's probably he's not like a super internet person, so he just thinks like online pretty girl that does a thing online. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because I think online, I would say that's a derogatory term.
Yes, but I don't think he realizes
but
that.
Has no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
mover. You're still young, by the way. You had like these e-girls now are like, they're pretending to be young and they're like 40. And like you, I feel like you're older than me, but you're younger than me because you've been famous for longer. Like you went viral at like 19. And you did it. And then you're like, okay, I made my points about feminism and I'm not going to just be online all day making the same points again and again. It just, there was diminishing returns to this. You wanted something more serious, and that's admirable. Not everyone wants that, or not everyone goes in that direction.
I mean, I appreciate that. Like, I don't even know if it's, I guess it's admirable. I'll take that. But it's just like, I would literally lose my mind. I don't know how people are not losing their mind.
Wouldn't it be favorable to your bar complaints? Actually true.
It's like, I don't know how and the only thing I can predict or guess is that they don't take it that seriously. Because I think if you take discourse seriously, if you are actually interested in human beings and you're interested in how they tick, how they work, how the system works, you cannot continue I got chills when I read your base ritual article. It was so upsetting for me because I've been in those conversations. Like, I don't know how you can continue the virtue signaling or the base ritual perpetually if you're actually interested in advancing any sort of conversation or humankind. So I don't even know if it's admirable. It's just, I think it should be the bare minimum for anyone engaged in politics to not do this. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, you're saying like it's not admirable because everyone should kind of be like
It's
this.
bare minimum.
But we know that they're not, right? Like we know kind of what people are like, and people are just happy to. I mean, it's just, happy to not even say the same thing. Like, I think when you started out, and I'm old enough to remember, like 5-10 years ago, like there weren't just people whose entire career was like making stuff up. I mean, that's like, there are Twitter accounts now who are just like breaking news, and it's either something that's completely made up, or it's distorted on some real news, or it's just like taking a headline and then just posting the headline and never the article, and saying there was one about Catholics the other day. It was like a Atlantic headline.
I can't believe one of the worst things that happened on Twitter was the whole checkmark debacle.
Oh, Jesus.
Combined with the revenue stuff. Because now you can make a fake account, pay money, I guess, to checkmark it, but as long as you can post enough fake news, the checkmark gets paid for with the revenue generating stuff. It's such an I'm trying to think of any platform has such a horrible issue where checkmarks are just so meaningless.
Yeah, no, they mean literally nothing.
I'd rather have check marks as I know they are a real person, but they're not. They're not anymore. That's not true. I'm pretty sure the majority of the check marks on Twitter are still fake people. It's just
Checkmark doesn't mean real person, right?
No.
It's just you paid $6 for the fucking thing.
Yeah.
The rosary became a hate symbol. It's just, obviously there are like these extreme Catholics who like, adopt these symbols, but they're like, oh, the Atlantic wants to exterminate Catholics. And it's like, and they're not even new articles, right? It's just like they have a 20-year archive of like headlines.
Remember when Dan said the paid checkmark would mean less bots? True, he was totally wrong on that. Just kidding. Actually, I think I'm the one who said that. I thought paid checkmarks, theoretically, I thought could be a good thing. And I don't know if Dan argued against it more or Cake, I think, argued against it more. I still feel like there's a world where that could have worked. But when they started introducing the revenue generating stuff, that's just such a horrible idea. You could also just make that checkmark more expensive and get rid of the revenue generating. So you shouldn't be able to make money posting on Twitter. I guess now that I'm remonetized, I guess it's fine, but whatever. I don't know. It's not good.
They get mad at, and the same like direct out the same headlines. Like I will see people getting mad in 2019. Someone in 2023 will find the same.
Yeah, 100.
They will get mad all over.
The worst part. Okay.
And Instagram means nothing as well. Is that true? I feel like Instagram check marks are still pretty reputable. No.
I didn't even know Instagram had check marks.
Fuck you.
In 2023 will find the same.
Yeah, 100.
They will get mad all over.
The worst part. Okay, the worst part of being like the first or patient zero for this stuff is I will see stories that I highlighted like 10 years ago coming back.
Fuck. Okay, stop. We're getting started talking too much. Wait. You thought this question is too much for bots and that their verification process would still exist, but that was bad thinking because it assumed Elon was a good person. I've just never seen somebody tank a brand so hard. Like, Twitter was so unbelievably reputable. Like, bro, having a check mark on Twitter, that was like some big dick shit. You could fuck people off of having a check mark. You're like, I got a fucking check mark on Twitter. I'm hot shit. I'm a big fucking deal. And Twitter was like the place for breaking news and everything. It still is, just because no platform has come up to replace it yet. First mover advantage and existing community make it hard. The inertia makes it hard to move anything else. But like, think about the brand of Twitter today, or X, compared to the brand of Twitter like 3 or 4 years ago. It's just crazy.
At in the same like direct out the same headlines. Like I will see people getting mad in 2019. Someone in 2023 will find the same.
Yeah, 100.
They will get mad all over.
The worst part. Okay, the worst part of being like the first or patient zero for this stuff is I will see stories that I highlighted like 10 years ago coming back into the cycle, and I got super canceled for talking about them. Like, I was in the news all over white supremacists. Like, you got to ban her off these websites. You got to like put in her Wikipedia page that she's a terrorist or banned from countries. And now they're mainstream conversations. And I'm not saying like I was 100% accurate on all these stories or anything, but just that because the ice has already been broken on them, now people can talk about it, even though that conversation was happening 10 years ago and is being recycled. There's a story in Canada about mass graves that I was covering like 4 or 5 years ago. The news came out and said that there were mass graves of Indigenous children all over the country. And it ended up being that these were just like anomalies that they found. One side started rejecting the idea that there was any abuse at residential schools altogether, which went a little crazy. The other side said there was basically a genocide in Canada and started burning down churches all over the country. And it ended up, these were anomalies in the ground, and they didn't actually find any bodies, especially at the like main initial Kamloops place where they talked about it. I did this story 4 or 5 years ago. The local news said that I was a white supremacist, Holocaust denier, this, that, and the other. And now it's back into a mainstream story. I'm seeing it all over my feed on Instagram. I'm seeing it on Twitter again. It's being covered. And once again, it's just that recycled story. And I'm like, whoa, are we going to do this for the next 20 years? Is it going to just crop up like in 4 or 5 year cycles, all of these different subjects?
Yeah, right. That's another good point. You were kind of, because you were first, you were doing these things, and you weren't like that extreme. You weren't like a white nationalist. You weren't a Nazi. You never said women shouldn't vote or anything like that. That's not even like that extreme these days. There's a girl who is.
True. She was never that extreme. You're banning try to say otherwise. True.
Being chilling.
Definitely not. Who hasn't gone on a boat before?
Entire claim to fame. You probably know this person.
You're saying the N-word or something?
You're saying yes. Yeah. That's all she freaking did. She has 6 figures. She has like 200 or anything like that. That's not even like that extreme these days. There's a girl who is entire claim to fame. You probably know this person.
You're saying the N-word or something?
You're saying yes. Yeah. That's all she.
Who's this other girl?
Did. She has 6.
Are there multiple now for the what is it? GoFundMe's that were dude. I don't even know. I don't want to talk about it. There are 2 of them, right? There's the one they called the little
Empath Chan. Sorry.
Oh, they might be actually. I don't even know. There's so many N-word girls. No, Empath Chan has done considerably worse things than just the N-word.
Yeah.
But that one woman who just called that little boy an N-word in the park, didn't she make like $1 million? And then the crazy barista at Starbucks or whatever, didn't she get like $500K or something?
Yeah, they made good money on it.
Figure. She has like 200,000 followers or 300,000 followers right now. All she did was on TikTok. She said the N-word, and now people listen to her.
And I'll see these people booked on like mainstream shows too. And these will be shows that'll be like, oh, we're not sure we can book you because your Wikipedia says like you're a terrorist and this and that. And I'm like, I was just kind of, I was a little too early to a lot of these things. Like, don't get me wrong, I did some crazy stuff. I said some things where I watch old videos of mine and I'm cringing. I'm like, that was, you don't really think when you're 19 years old, this is going to be on the internet.
You debated Lily Gaddis, her too? I don't even remember, but yeah.
Forever. And when people watch it, even if they're watching it today, they're not looking at the date on that video and they just assume that's the me that exists today 10 years later after having all these different life experiences, which is tough to deal with as well. I don't know how to merge people's vision and view of me with the person I am today, especially because I've kind of retreated into my walled gardens and given up on the online space in a lot of ways. I don't know if it's possible to merge reality with the internet right now. There's just too much, the space is too flooded with nonsense and people want it. They like it.
Yeah. I mean, how does it affect you these days psychologically? So when I listen to the audiobook and you seem to...
Okay, wait. Magic Dart, it says that this attack counts as both magical and physical. Does the witch's nose increase the damage of this by 1 or no? Because it's supposed to 1 magic damage.
Like...
Oh, you're missing out.
You say at some point...
way better.
Shut the fuck up.
These days psychologically. So when I listen to the audiobook and you seem to like... You say at some point, I think near the end, that like it's not like all behind me. Like I still think about these things. You seem to get upset that people, you meet people, they might not know who you are today. People are still saying things about you online. Right now, you seem to deal with it with good humor, and it seems okay. Like, how much does this stuff get to you, like on a daily basis?
It's for the most part, I've been able to make a split between this is the internet, this is people who don't know me. I can't care that much, or I will lose my mind, and reality in my day-to-day life. There is a bit of a feeling of like when I go through the border, I still get pulled in and questioned, and I see the border agents pulling up, my YouTube, Wikipedia, all of this, reading it, and I get questioned about it. So it like permeates my real life. I was at a coffee shop the other day, and some guy comes up and whispers to me and said, "You did great at the Parliament hearing," which was when I was being questioned about Tenet. So it's like I think I described it like the upside down in Stranger Things, where I see like the glitches at the edges of reality. That I still know there's this digital world out there that affects my life. Or the worst part is probably interpersonal relationships, like. Dating is almost impossible for me because there's this like archive of my eternal history and a bunch of stuff that's not true as well. Like I remember I dated this guy and then his mom started sending tons of articles about me to him about how I'm a fascist, this, that, and like that was part of the stuff that ended the relationship. So a lot of people don't know how to handle someone having this massive digital archive about their life. And someone else may have done stuff that's like way
so
worse, way crazier, like had a criminal past.
Dude, if that happened to my family, my mom would be like, "You found a queen."
I love him,
Good
Stevie.
job, Stevie.
This or that, but it's not easily Googleable or has, hundreds of forums of gossip about it. So it's something that I'm aware of and that I know will never go away, even when renting places or, anything that includes a background check, it's going to affect me. People get pretty off-put by having a crazy
Did you ever confirm with Lauren if she knew she was getting paid by Russia? I don't think she did. If she did, she didn't tell me. But I also told her if she ever told me that I would turn her into the State Department, so.
History, but you learn to live with it. What you gonna do?
What? Why is this kind of
so
fire?
kind of, similar. I have a kind of a checkered internet history, and it never bothered me. Like, I think contempt kind of is the defense mechanism, because it's like, I know these people. Like, I know I'm smart. I know other people, like, who sits around all day making up stuff about people online, like a loser. Like, who cares what these people think? But like, would you say stuff like, oh, they like Google me, I meet them in real life? I've never had that. Like, I've like, gone to Airbnbs. I've done all the normal stuff. I've enrolled my kids in school. Nobody has ever said anything bad to me. Now, maybe you're a woman. Maybe you're more famous. Maybe it's I don't know. You're more videos.
The stuff that comes up about me is pretty crazy. Like, if you look up like my Wikipedia or something, it's just.
Have you looked at my Wikipedia?
No, should I?
It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's getting better. I have, there's people there. It's contested territory, but like half of it is dedicated to white nationalist writings of like 15, 20 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that bad. Like, I'm fine. I do all right. I don't think I could ever get like I'm working in a job that's aside from politics, but I'm like I don't think I could ever work in like a public facing job in the normie world where people could like Google and contact my employer. I don't think I could ever do that.
The same. Yeah, I could never do that because like I couldn't take it, and also because nobody would hire me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Who's the guy on the left? What has he done in the past?
Richard Hanania. He's just like a independent, conservative writer guy.
Journalist guy? Okay.
Yeah, but we've interacted with him a bit on stream. You should know him. Fucking read him.
I was gone.
Book as well, which I think, you've got this whole issue of foreign influence in the political sphere. And people being bought out by different interest groups. Like, I think I would argue the vast majority of influencers now are paid for by foreign governments, interest groups, corporations, all behind the scenes money, not just like their donations or subscribers. Would you agree with that statement?
You said most?
Yes.
Yes, they might not be like full-time being paid, but they are obviously taking money for like tweets and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very rare, especially like if you're talking about influencer, someone who's not like a journalist at like a major publication or something. Yeah, those people are bought and paid for, clearly. And
I think part of that comes from the fact that some of these people, especially if they got involved a while ago and have like these online histories, what else do you do with your life? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the arc? Unless you want to become a full-time, like, anti-radical, anti-racist campaigner. Like, that you have two job arcs: work for a foreign government or become like the SPLC spokesperson.
Yeah, even the SPLC thing, I think even that market is a little bit saturated. I think that used to be I think there's so many of those now that's not even that easy anymore. But the other thing is, it's just fun. Like, you look at these people, like, it's just a lot funner to just post online compared to any other job you might do.
Absolutely. I hate to admit it because it's killing society. Like, it's killing us, but it is a lot of fun to get people worked out.
And some of these people are idiots. Like, I look at these conspiracy theorists with like millions of followers, and like, what else is it? This person isn't like doesn't seem they have the brains to like work like as a lawyer or some kind of like high earning professional job. A lot of these people are just like actual idiots, and they have millions of people listening to them. They have Elon. I hate Elon Musk for this, for like pumping these people up. Like, they're like, oh, the smartest man in the world, the richest man in the world at least, is thinking I'm interesting. I must have something to say. And they're just crazy people. They're just like the worst fake news trash on the internet. I don't know how, like, if I had one in front of me, like if I had, I don't know, like this person like Gunther, that Gunther guy, or like one of these
I still don't believe that guy is real.
I meme, therefore I am. Like, these people, like, I don't know like what I would tell them.
What'd you say? Is his name Gunter Eagleman or whatever?
Gunter Eagleman
or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck that is. Yeah.
Because like the best advice for them is like, keep doing what you're doing because you earn a lot more money and have a lot more attention than you objectively deserve for the person you are and what you've accomplished in your life. So I don't know like how you talk them out of it. You just have to have a culture of not listening to these people.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? You're supposed to have a culture of not listening to these people, but they're being massively amplified. I can't really tell how the X algorithm works, to be honest. I don't know if it's amplifying. Like, I don't know if Elon is putting his finger on the scale and like deliberately like pumping up some of these accounts. I don't know if people just genuinely want to listen to people like Candace Owens talk about astral projecting into street lamps.
They absolutely.
I don't know what to do with that. Like, this is what I mean. I get so many emails from people that read my book or watched me back in the day, and they're like, Lauren, like, we need you back in the fight. We need you. I can't compete. I can't compete with making up stories about my compound getting shot up or astral projecting or this. Like, everything is made up, and I'm not willing to do that.
Ooh, that was a Tim Pool call out. Uh-oh.
I'm willing to do it, so I can't compete. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No one wants to listen to me unpack court cases. They want to listen to you make stuff up about them. That's way more exciting.
Yeah, I think that you're like, but there is an audience. Like, you won't compete with Candace Owens, maybe like doing truthful content, but people who like you and you have some charisma, like, I've made a living writing. It's not impossible. It's just, you're not going to be Candace or Tucker or Alex Jones or these people who are just appealing to idiots. So they're just a lot more idiots. So I'd encourage you, if you actually like want to be part of the conversation. It's a
Gunter Eagleman meme. Wait. Oh,
is it the banana one?
Gunther Eagleman's bottom ticking of gasoline prices will be steady for generations is one of the great Contra's calls of our age. I voted for lower gas prices. I win. How long? How long do you think it's going to go on for? They're higher now than they were under the peak peak bad Biden, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, somebody linked.
But now even if you go to the conservative subreddit, those motherfuckers are now like PhDs and like, oh well, actually, like the president doesn't affect it.
Well,
that
except
much,
for
blah, blah,
this
blah.
one.
But this time it does. Yeah.
Somebody linked this post, and I guess this guy linked.
Diesel 720 in Cali.
No, I totally just fucking lied. Sorry, just kidding. They are higher now than when Biden left office was the claim. Sorry. Not than they ever were under Biden. That was wrong. Fake news.
So you misspoke.
Yeah, I did. But they could go higher. We'll see. The highest we had in June of 2022 was, the average was $4.92 a gallon. God damn.
Give it time. If they keep
February.
targeting gas places, I mean,
Oh,
gas
actually, wait. When did
manufacturers,
we
it's gonna
get?
be fucked.
When did we start the Iran thing? That was this week, right?
The Iran thing?
Or that was within the past 2 weeks?
It was in the past 2 weeks, yeah.
Oh shit! So maybe we haven't seen that. That hasn't shown up on this chart yet. Then average gas price USA gallon. What is it right now? $3.88. Ooh. Okay, that would put us at, if it's using the same calculation as is here, that would be the third highest gas prices. Maybe? Oh, no, not quite. But it would put us very, very close. If it gets a little bit higher, it'll be the second highest price for gas in all of U.S. history, except for, the second highest, yeah. It's like $5.40 in L.A., $3.95 here. God damn. The climbing is pretty scary too. Week ago average is 360. Yesterday was 384. Today, I guess, is 388. Good luck.
You were like the hardest thing, like the hardest drug you could get, right? It was like Islam is like culturally threatening to Europe. Like maybe Islam is not compatible with like, Northern European countries with gay rights. Like maybe we should think about that. And like all the people who were like actual Nazis were like, yeah, this is the most right-wing person I can possibly find. And so but now they have Nazis. They have people, they have every kind of, if you're a connoisseur of like hating, you have Indian haters, you have anti-Semites, you have, people who want to go back to ancient Rome, you have people who talking about the Middle Ages, like crazy people. I mean, there's just everything there, and it's just like this stupid jumble. And like the base ritual thing is like kind of like, it's kind of the synthesis of it all. It's just, it's to the, you get to the like most, you get to the essence of it, which is I'm just trying to be edgy and I'm just trying to signal vice and show loyalty to Trump. And we're all like in this big tent of haters. It's a nightmare. That's absolutely awful.
Total. And the people in it know it's a nightmare too. Like I've gotten more calls. I've gotten so many calls behind the scenes of people talking about, I want out of this. And it's not even that they've changed their whole political belief or anything, but what kind of MAGA and the online right has become is totally detached from what being a conservative in day-to-day life or having right-wing opinions even is, because it's not about the opinions. It's about the base ritual. It's about finding your social group and appealing to them as much as possible so that you can get upvotes and retweets and social clout. That's what the entire thing has become about. Not saying the wrong thing. They've recreated woke culture in their own realm.
How do I know
where
what
you
this
have to,
debuff
you have to
is?
do the base ritual or the virtue signaling 24/7 or you're going to be canceled. And
has Destiny read the base ritual article by Hanania on stream? I'm pretty sure I did.
and people don't know how to get out of it because it's their entire friend groups. People have married into this social circle. They've married people who are other influencers or a part of these communities. Their business, all of their contacts, all of it. You cannot escape. You can't escape without giving up everything. Your career, even just writing this book, and this isn't even a book of me coming out and being like, I'm a progressive leftist now. It's just me saying this is literally what happened. This is just what happened in my life, honestly, not hiding any of it or putting like a base ritual filter on it. And
Also, all oil factories will need 60 days in Qatar and Bahrain to resume operations, which means this will take very long. Oh, wait, did you cover that Israel was hitting big Iranian, I think it was LNG areas?
Yeah, I did. But they also, apparently, the Trump administration knew that this was happening. So when they went on Twitter, they just fucking lied about it. Like
That's the least
this was
surprising thing I've ever
allowed.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is that I think attacks like that, I think the signal is that this is probably going to be going on for quite a while if they're doing attacks like that, because this is like big infrastructure damage that's going to have like far-reaching impacts on everything,
Yep.
I lost so many friends and contacts.
Apparently
and
the
people that would
Marines
have
arrive
interviewed
in
me
2 weeks too.
Oh boy.
or giving me jobs or all of this kind of stuff. And
Israel wouldn't take a shit without our permission. I mean, with Prior presidents, maybe, but with Trump, I'm pretty sure they know they can get away with basically whatever they want. How long do I have this stupid fucking fear thing on me for? What the fuck?
Social circles. Like I said, I still get the calls in the back end. Like, how do I get out? How do I get out? But you have to be willing to give up all of the advantages you get. It's the opposite of what it was at the beginning. At the beginning, it was you are potentially going to get fired from your job if you say this stuff. That's dangerous speech. You're potentially going to get canceled by the masses if you say these things. And that's why it's so brave for these influencers to come out and speak like this. It's the complete opposite now. Now you get accolades, you get invited to the White House, you get your own show, you get, thousands of dollars on X.com for saying these things. So when we talk about dangerous speech, I only really believe in missions against one's interest now. Are you saying something that is actually going to potentially get you in trouble? Are you saying something that is actually going to get people mad at you? Are you saying something that's going to potentially lose you money? That's the only stuff I feel like I can believe when I read online, because everything else is just
pandering.
It's just good business.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the disillusionment. That's interesting that people stop being your friend. I mean, I saw a lot of the same things on the right, not like exactly the same way. It wasn't, I think it was kind of a different circle, but I knew a lot of people who ended up like going into the Trump administration. One of the first things you talk about here is like the tobacco thing is very interesting. So you are you're a big kind of celebrity. You're working for Rebel Media. Night of the 2016 election, they do not have you covering the election. They have you in India covering flavored tobacco debates. Explain this thing.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, there were obviously lobbyists and interest groups that were working with Rebel Media behind the scenes that would have been giving them money. Ezra is like the most litigious person in the world, and the fact that I wrote this book and haven't been sued kind of tells me something, But yeah, they flew us out to India, and I thought it was so weird because there were so many stories that I would come forward and I'd be like, I want to cover the migrant crisis in Europe. I want to be on the boots on the ground at the Calais jungle. I want to cover this riot, or I want to cover the Trump election stuff. And they'd be like, oh, we don't know if we have the money for it. We don't know if we can send you here or there. Sure, you can go cover the story in Europe if you cover all of the costs and we don't pay you, and maybe we'll pay for your flights and security, but that's it. And this trip to India, it's like 5-star hotel. We're sending the whole team, fancy flights. You've got all these meetings set up. The story that makes no sense, that nobody is watching, is getting no views. It's getting like 10,000 to 20,000 views compared to like hundreds of thousands, millions of views on these other stories I'm covering. It just did not make sense. Obviously, I think, funded by lobbyists. Then I remember we get back, and Faith Goldie, if you remember her back in the day, she keeps whinging that she's being forced to make this documentary and interview these tobacco lobbyists. And I'm like, why are you being forced to do that? Like, what do you mean forced to do that? Then I started discovering we did these petitions all the time there. If you followed Rebel Media, you always see them post like, sign this petition to stop Yazidi girls from being, murdered or whatever it is. Sign this petition to stop Islam from invading the West. And all these stories I was putting out, they'd encourage me to do a petition at the end. And I remember going in the office and asking, where are we delivering these? Like, I just did this big petition about these textbooks in Canada that had woke nonsense in it. And I got all these people that are emailing me saying, I signed the petition. Where are we delivering it? And no one would answer my question. And but the worst part was they looked at me like I was stupid. They looked at me like I was an idiot, because they're like, obviously, we're not delivering them anywhere, Lauren. Like, obviously. What are you talking about? We have the guy who works in, not accounting, advertising, that takes these emails and he sells them to people. Like, that is obviously what we're doing here. Are you stupid? And I was, because I believed in it, because I was someone who watched this content, because I was.
Dustin, I hate doing this doomer shit because last year tariff has scarred me forever, but Hormuz Strait being closed is 2 to 3 times worse than tariff situation could ever be. I mean this literally, it's way fucking worse. I don't believe that at all, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I think it can be bad for sure, but I think that on its face, just looking at the absolute number values, maybe, but I feel like the tariff stuff, I think, signaled that America was just not part of the world anymore in terms of being a good faith player in doing stuff or whatever. I think the Hormuz stuff has the potential, or is going to be really bad as well. The thing is, I just don't know I don't know anything. I don't know what's happening with Iran. I don't know what the plan is or what the goal is, or what. If the goal is to literally try to foment like a civil fucking war and then do full-on hardcore regime change, and are we going to occupy the country or what? I just have no idea. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen with that.
A watcher of Sun News and Ezra, and I loved this stuff. And I remember reading his book.
I also think it's kind of weird. Do you remember, Mooten, what was the official stance on? So I know we said we blew all their nuclear reactors and all that bullshit up, okay? But did we ever take an official position on whether or not we got rid of all the enriched nuclear material?
I don't believe they ever took a position on the enriched nuclear material.
What was the opinion of the international community on that? Did we get rid of all that? Or because otherwise, are we just like destabilizing a country and then there's material like that's just going to be kind of like out there?
I'm pretty sure that there was photos of them before the attack getting it out.
Okay. So is that just going to be like floating
there
anywhere? Yeah. Okay. People are saying it's buried as well. That's kind of spooky, but.
On the way to the first conference, I went with him. And then being in the office and finding out that someone else wrote his books, and I didn't even know what a ghostwriter was at the time, and just being like so sad and shocked, and like the whole thing was falling apart in front of me. But yeah, I think that was like the worst part for me, is watching all of these people that were like me when I was younger getting scammed constantly by these people, just sending their last $100 with a note saying, you're going to save Western civilization. You know, I can barely pay the bills, but this is the last $100 in my bank account. Here you go, for a scam. Like, it's a scam.
You know? Have you seen this has become like the Trump method of fundraising? Have you seen these where they would send their old people email?
Dude, have you people, obviously they spam my email and shit. Have you ever seen the Trump fundraising emails?
Oh, they're fucking nuts, dude. One of them they brought up in a they brought up in one of the briefings, and it was like, you're telling the American people that you're trying to fundraise to here that they are going to be privy to classified information if they donate to you. Like, they're fucking crazy.
They're indistinguishable from scam emails, or they don't even look like scam emails because they're so obvious. They look like scam emails from 2005.
Yeah.
This is an article from 2 days ago. People are shocked over Trump's fundraising email to his supporters. If you've never had the unbridled pleasure of looking through President Donald Trump's fundraising emails, know that they get a little personal. Case in point, an email sent on March 12th with the subject line, I'm making this announcement public for the first time. This is President Donald J. Trump. I made a special announcement to the public an hour ago. For the very first time ever, I'm opening up spots in the National Security Briefing membership.
Yep.
This email sent by Never Surrender Inc. read, these final spots are reserved for my strongest supporters. You're one of them. This is no ordinary membership. In the middle of this text urging recipients to claim their spot, which, as per CNN, was a link to donate, was an image of Trump at the dignified transfer of the remains of 6 U.S. service members killed in Kuwait after the U.S. strike on Iran. Claim your spot. Very few spots remaining. It's crazy. I can't give a top source, but Dylan Burns claimed that lots of the uranium would be handed to Russia. That would be my guess, is that we would even facilitate that transfer because Russia is a nuclear power that can be trusted to keep it and not just shoot it off randomly. But would Donald Trump do that? I don't know. I would hope so, but I just don't know if they have any minds whatsoever left in the DOD. Hold on, I don't remember these structures. The Joint Chiefs of Staff and everything is the civilian side. For the military, is that part of the Department of Defense? Is the head of that the Joint Chiefs of Staff, or is that a separate branch cabinet thing? I'm sorry, the Department of War. My bad. Oh yeah, DOD, yeah. I don't know if any of the talent is still there, if any of these people have any fucking idea. I just don't know for anything. I don't know about anything. I don't know.
Emails, and they would be like, Donald Trump was looking at the list of like patriots who contributed, and he was very disappointed not to see you there.
I get those because rebels sold all my emails to their mailing list.
Yeah.
So
If you've ever given money or been involved with anything conservative, you are a victim too. Yeah, and like there's these old people with like dementia who are like, there was a CNN story where like their kids would call them up and be like, stop giving all your money to Trump, and they're like, no, you don't understand. I'm like part of his inner circle.
Oh my
He
God.
needs me. Like,
it's so bad.
They want these people convinced that they're like major donors who like Trump is just thinking about like before he's going on stage or while he's doing stuff. It's remarkable. I mean,
insane.
this stuff used to be a little bit like, it's like the scam model that like you saw of like right-wing media became like conservatism and became the Republican Party. It just like filtered up to like the very top.
100. Even the fact that the president has a crypto pump and dump coin,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to fathom that. But yeah, I watch it every few weeks. I watch the same.
Real question, would Iran actually just nuke Israel/enemies just because? Like, that logic is non-existent? I mean, I would have said no in the past because you're still playing by rules of war and you don't want to be completely demolished. But in a world where it's a regime change, now it's an existential threat to your country. Actually, is this the very first regime change war against a Iran's not a nuclear power. Sorry. I guess they don't have nukes yet, so they don't have nukes that they can shoot, so never mind. That was nice bait.
Same iterations of the same scams, and I keep wondering who is continually falling for this. But the system protects itself very well. I did a speech at a kind of libertarian free speech conference a few weeks ago where I spoke about some of the scams in right-wing circles, and when they uploaded my speech, they had cut it out. They had cut out the bit where I talk about, and I was like, well, this is a free speech organization that's doing this, and they've cut out the part where I talk about it was Elon Musk was hosting a giant rally called Unite the Kingdom.
Hanania is the new Sam Harris? Oh no. Does Hanania hate Arabs that much?
with Tommy Robinson in London.
He's doing Unite the Right, but in England he's calling it
Unite the Kingdom. Yeah, but it was funded. They had all these shirts and symbols, and they're like, if you want to really unite the kingdom, you have to buy UTK coin. That's how you unite the kingdom. There's a great art Substack about it that goes over it. Pimlico Journal, I don't know what it's called, but it talks about, it's called Unite the Rug Pull. And it goes up to like a market cap of $2 or $3 million while this rally is going on. Everyone's buying this coin to save the West, and then immediately gets rug pulled and just crashes the day after. And like Tommy and all his mates and I guess Elon, they're all making a ton of money off this. And I'm like, I feel like 10 years ago, this would have been the biggest story in dissident media because people you couldn't even put ads on your video back in the day because people saw that as a compromise to talking about politics. You're doing ads on a political video. People used to get canceled for that. But it's just totally been normalized in the public consciousness. I think it's because more boomers are online now. And they got kind of one-shotted by the constant ads on like Fox News shows and on conservative talk radio, whereas there was a lot of like internet savvy people that were doing the early dissident sphere YouTube. I don't know what it is. Post-COVID, it got worse because you had all these like people that have total memoricide of internet characters logging in and getting involved in the political conversation because they were locked indoors. That made it really even worse. And now it's just like the algorithms are cooked.
Yeah. Speaking of Tommy Robinson, I love the way you talk about these people in England. They are basically like these white street thugs, and they're just like fighting with Muslims, and then they are like going online and saying we're saving Western civilization because like they're fighting over drug territory. Can you talk about this?
I don't know how to. Once again, it's just one of these things. How do I explain reality that only I've seen and I've lived? That's never filmed to people.
I think Iran's retaliation still have an understandable perceived value for them, like the effort to tank the markets in order for the U.S. to chill, but using a nuke would have no strategic value like that, just suicide bombs, so I'd still doubt it. I feel like they're just tanking the markets and doing that shit for some semblance of reprieve to get the U.S. to fuck off or something. But I mean, like it's an existential war for them, so I think if they had nukes, I don't know why they wouldn't use it.
I think they would use it.
Yeah, why the fuck not?
I mean, they're trying to
fucking retarded.
Fuck up the entire world right now by fucking off the natural gas and shit. So I don't think they give a fuck.
Yeah.
People who have only ever seen the polished like TV show. I don't know how to explain it, but like, yeah, when I went to London, I met with Tommy and his mates. They're gangsters. They're gangsters. They're talking about all their bar fights. I remember howling laughing. I think he's in jail now. Like some of these people I'm meeting are just in jail now, and they get out of the Tommy movement or they get kicked out or whatever when they actually go down for crimes. They aren't public facing anymore. But like describing to us like strangling people or beating people up for money or meeting guys with like full on machete scars down their face. And they're like, yeah, some Packy did this to me when we were in a standoff. And Tommy used to run tanning salons that he sold coke out of. And that was kind of his like turf.
So he was making white people less white and selling them drugs?
I mean, the man is a funny guy. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand why people enjoy hanging out with these people. They're crazy. And a lot of the people who were willing to say this stuff online 10 years ago are going to be socially odd people. They're going to be the crazier people on the outskirts of society that are already doing things that are a little weird. But yeah, he was basically like a drug dealer and a gangster. And I think these people realized there was a lot more money in scamming people on the internet through cryptocurrencies and various fake fundraisers than there was in selling drugs. And it was a lot safer. But
not just safer, it was fucking encouraged.
Sorry, I'm like having so many memories of this. It's so wild to see like fundraisers be put up and then be in a bar with these people laughing, like spilling their guts laughing, like we're gonna do a line of coke and laugh about like the audience donating to this thing that is obviously fake, or the story we've just published that's obviously fake. I wish the audience realized that this is how a lot of the influencers talk about them, or at least some of them. I think it's more going to be like the Tommy, Andrew Tate sphere, those kind of people that are, I think they're very aware that they're scamming their audiences. I think they're very aware that the people that follow them are idiots. I read your piece. What was it from yesterday? What was the guy's theory of self-deception?
Robert Trivers.
Trivers. I read your piece on that, and I largely agree that many people partake in the self-deception. I think the side that I saw of people that were doing a lot of drugs in the right-wing movement couldn't deceive themselves because it was so obvious what they were doing. So the drugs kind of helped mask and helped,
Are you really not more concerned with Israel and the United States using nukes at this point? At least Iran has a fatwa against them and openly state they go against a religion. American Israel doesn't.
Why would they use nukes?
What?
What would the United States use a nuke on right now?
I don't know. Trump could because he's fucking retarded, but...
Yeah, he's retarded, but like, he doesn't need to nuke Iran. They control the fucking skies. Like, if they want to bomb the entirety of Iran, I'm pretty sure they could do that without a nuke. They could glass it.
Maybe he thinks it'll make them stop the Strait. I'm surprised he's not saber rattling at all, though.
Say again?
I'm surprised he's not saber rattling nukes, like threatening to do it, like Putin does, or did.
I don't think that.
Yeah, but he's a big like nothing's off the table guy. So I'm surprised he's not like, whoa, we might nuke him,
Yeah, I assume if somebody asked him, he might say that, but he hasn't. Thank God he hasn't.
Deceive themselves because it was so obvious what they were doing. So the drugs kind of helped mask and helped, cope with the constant lying to the public,
Yeah, I mean, I had it's a different crowd I was thinking of. And I was thinking about maybe like talking about actually in right-wing politics, I've seen there are people who are actually cynical, who do actually just like laugh at their audience and take their money and enjoy it. That's probably like not most people that I've dealt with.
That's not most, yeah.
most people I've dealt with have been like kind of, especially if they're like intellectual in some way. If they're intellectual in some way, they'll have a justification for whatever they're thinking or whatever they're doing. But with someone like Tommy Robinson, you think that movement, those people are more just cynical. They kind of know it's all a joke. Like, do they even care about immigration?
I do think they care about, because like there is that, like the gang turf war stuff. Like that's, your mates are getting beat up by the Packy gangs.
Right. So they know that the racism is genuine. They don't want these people around.
I don't even think I wouldn't call Tommy racist. It's like very much because like they'd have black people or they'd have brown people kind of like on their side. Yeah. But it's this like ethno-religious kind of war going on the ground. And like they genuinely do hate each other, but it's just not necessarily for all the reasons that are public. Like a very good example is that court case that I mentioned, which it's the wildest story in the world to me, because you had Elon Musk, you had Jordan Peterson and Daily Wire and all of these people promoting this.
P word is a slur, by the way. It's a slur in Britain, but it's not really here in the United States. I don't think people like it's like you can say there's like a transferred slurredness, but in the US we just don't think about it that way.
It's like saying gypsy in the United States. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Called Silence that Tommy made, which was about this court case in which he slandered a 14 or 15-year-old Muslim refugee kid. It'll come to me. I can't remember what the kid's name is, but he said that the kid was basically a part of like grooming gangs and beating women up and like sexual assault, like awful things about this kid. And the whole reason he did this and made these videos was because a boy beat the kid up at school. This video went viral on the internet where he's saying, I'm going to drown you. I'm going to drown you, you effing bastard. And everyone's like, wow, racist attack on young refugee boy. This is awful. But the problem is that boy, Reese, that boy was the son of one of his, or the younger brother of one of his best mates that he used to be in like a gang.
So the Muslim kid was getting bullied on the video, or the white kid?
The Muslim kid was getting bullied in this video.
And they turned out to be Tommy Robinson's friend's brother.
Yes, it was Tommy Robinson's friend's brother. And so this kid is getting super canceled. Reese McLaurin, and Reese McLaurin was either the friend's name or the boy's name. I think it's his friend's name, and then his brother, something McLaurin. This goes viral, and Tommy decides, I guess he probably got a call from his friend saying, you got to defend my brother. He's getting canceled on the internet. So Tommy makes a video saying, actually, you know what? Not only is this boy not a racist, he's a hero, because he was beating up this young Muslim kid because he was part of a grooming gang. And this young kid, Jamal Hijazi is his name. This young kid, Jamal Hijazi, was actually beating girls up and turning them black and blue. Awful stuff. So then the local community start canceling Jamal Hijazi and his family. The family have to pull their kid out.
This is the one, we looked this up for that Tommy Robinson kept getting fucked in court over and over and over again because he couldn't stop talking about it.
School, who's already being bullied. He literally already had his arm broken from a previous event. Like, it's really bad. Pulls the kid out of school. They have to get security cameras. They have to like move out of town, ruins their life. They decide to sue Tommy and they win because he made it up. Yeah. He made up all the stuff about this kid. It was
there was one. Didn't he have some kind of run in with a girl? Like, did he hit some girl or something at school? There was something like
there was. There was one girl that said he hit me with a hockey stick, but then when they brought it to court, she claims that he hurt her so bad she had to get an MRI, she had to get on medication, it gave her anxiety. But then when they cross-examined it, there were no medical reports. In fact, there was only a medical report showing that she had nothing wrong with her and she was perfectly good. The anxiety predated the attack by like a year or two. And like every single one of these claims fell apart when it was properly cross-examined.
Yeah. So there was no rape, there was no grooming. This was just completely made up. He just was a...
Well, the worst part is when Tommy started posting this, people started messaging him, like boomer moms and friends, and they're like, I know that Jamal boy, and you're right, he is awful. And one mom messages him and says, he actually beat up my daughter, this, that. And so he posts this, and then in the comments of this post that's going viral now, she says, I'm so sorry, why would you post this publicly? I just made that up to get attention from you. Like, I said this because my daughter was beat up by a bunch of girls, but it had nothing to do with the Jamal kid. But I knew you would only give a shit if I mentioned the Jamal kid, and I wanted to talk to you, basically. And then he just continued to press that claim even after she said this and admitted and like pulled back all of her reports. And then he goes to her house in person for the Silence film with a hidden camera and says, you weren't lying to me on Facebook, right? You weren't lying to me on Facebook. And she goes, maybe I wasn't. I don't know. She doesn't know she's being filmed. Her hero has shown up at her door and she's already embarrassed that she's lied for his attention. And then
I feel like if you really believe, this is a thing that, but I don't know if I'm just built different. There's a thing that always bothers me when some people have strong feelings about a particular thing and then they end up lying about it. I feel like if you're lying about a thing, I feel like that undermines your sincerity about the thing you believe. I remember like even when I would do like my manifestos with August, or I don't even know who I could point to that I've worked with in the past. Like I've always stressed like hugely on if you're going to give me a clip or something supporting something about a person that I'm fighting with or whatever, like I need to see the full context. I have to know like where this came from. I have to have like a good background on all this because I don't want to misquote something or be incorrect about a thing. Because I feel like, if I have something that's really important that I want to convey and I start lying about a thing tangential to it or that's related to it, then I feel like it undermines your credibility about the whole thing at all. And how can you claim to care about it? And if it really is a problem, you shouldn't have to lie about it at all either, you know? I don't know.
But that's just because you're trying to be good faith. I don't think the average dumb fuck online gives a fuck about that. They're just doing it for money.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, sure, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's how you would differentiate between the two. Like if somebody's lying a bunch about a thing they claim to care about a ton, it makes me feel like you must not care about it that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a grift or something.
Her hero has shown up at her door And she's already embarrassed that she's lied for his attention. And then he takes that secret recording, puts it in a silence film, which he's not allowed to publish.
No.
This is why he went to jail. And it's a film that, like, once again, Elon Musk, Jordan Peterson, all these people went on to promote, just destroying this Jamal Hijazi.
Oh, have
Okay.
we seen Jordan Peterson yet?
Not yet. He's coming. Okay, ready? Big question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume that it's never discovered that Jon Snow is a Targaryen or whatever, Targaryen. How does that change
Okay.
Game of Thrones?
I don't
It
think
doesn't.
it changes
That's
it
right.
at
It
all.
doesn't at all. You're goddamn right.
It still ends shittily.
Like- Once again, Elon Musk, Jordan Peterson, all these people went on to promote, just destroying this Jamal Hijazi kid's life, millions and millions of views. They sue again for publishing the second film, trying to double down on the slander of him, and he loses again, and then everyone gives him like millions of dollars to get him out of jail. I cannot. I can't.
This is amazing. And this is the man, Tommy Robinson. It's not like Tommy Robinson has been canceled or something. He has a political party. Elon Musk does not like Nigel Farage's party, Reform, right? And so
Yeah.
Elon Musk is boosting. What's Tommy Robinson's party called?
I don't even know. I don't think he has a party. Does he?
I
Is he-
thought
is
so.
he
I thought he had a
pro-reform?
party that I thought that he had a party that
Right.
called Farage's party, Reform, right? And so
Yeah.
Elon Musk is boosting. What's Tommy Robinson's party called?
I don't even know. I don't think he has a party.
Is Tommy Robinson part of the Restore party? I don't know if it's like his party, but
Does he? Is he,
I
Tommy
thought
Robinson
so. I
just
thought he
like
had
a
a party
meme online. He doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Tommy Robinson?
Yeah, is he actually part of a party? I thought he was just
He's a huge activist guy. He's been involved in that shit for a long time. He definitely
okay.
cares about it, yeah.
I thought that he had a party that that Elon Musk was supporting. Elon Musk liked something to the right of Reform. I forget. But yeah, anyways, it's
Restore,
yeah, it's terrible.
sort
It's
of
up and
thing.
down, right? It's like lowest level, like street thugs, higher level, like internet influencers, and then like Elon Musk on top, who's just kind of, obviously not as stupid as these people. I don't think he's making money off of like rug pulls. Like that's probably like
right. Yeah, I don't think he's making money off that either. I don't understand what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He's just brain rotted. He's brain rotted from the internet. He's online all day. He's seeing all this stuff. Yeah, somebody brought it up. Restore Britain. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
the Reform is the okay. Yeah, the Restore.
See, I remember UKIP. I don't. They keep making new ones. They keep making new like right wing British parties that I can't keep up with.
Yeah, and the Andrew Tate stuff. I don't know. Is it too much? Is it too painful to talk about? I don't want to. If it's uncomfortable,
We can talk about it. That's
okay.
right.
So Tate is like, you meet Andrew Tate before he's famous, right? You go to, was it Romania? He was in Romania at the time. Him and his brother, and they're just these guys who are just like pimping women, I guess. But they're introduced to you as investors. They want to invest in some kind of new right wing media company, right? But they're running crypto scams and like pimping.
By the way, Jon Snow needs to be Targaryen thematically to make him being Azor Ahai or whatever makes sense. Wasn't that the guy that was supposed to kill the White Walker, though? Or the King White Walker? And Jon Snow doesn't do anything? So,
As investors, they want to invest in some kind of new right wing media company, right? But they're running crypto scams and like pimping women. And that's all they're doing. And it doesn't seem like there was ever like any possibility of them investing, right?
What happened to the screen layout where we could see the whole game? Chat, don't yell at me. People got triggered because the screen was too small, so...
Well, not only does it not seem like there's ever a possibility of them investing, later in the war room, Andrew literally posted saying, what was it? Do pimps ever give women money? Because he mentioned like, Lauren came out here with people looking for an investment for a video project. And then he asks his audience, do pimps ever give women money? And he's like, that's right. No, like we didn't give them a fucking dime.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's like, you look at that and it's like, was this a whole fake business meeting set up to bring me out there?
Yeah.
Or set up to just hang out with your favorite right-wing e-celebrities? Like, what is this,
So he wanted to have sex with you. Is that why he brought you out there?
Well, he was messaging me. I only found this out later because I went back and looked to see if he had DM'd me. And a year before, Tommy brought this up and was like, hey, Lauren, I've got these investors in Eastern Europe. We have to go out there. Like, I've got all the tickets. Don't worry about it. It's sorted. Like, trust me, these are cool guys. He had messaged me a year earlier asking, hey, what are you doing? Saving the West? Like, what are you up to? I've been watching like video.
Hey, fellow Westerner, this black
Hello?
kid from Romania. Hey.
She's like, are you still in Sicily saving the West or something? And then he asked, like, he did the thing where he's like, do you ever come to Britain? Like, when are you in Britain next? And that's always, and he had like 2,000 or 4,000 followers on Twitter at the time or something. So I just like ignored it because that's always, I'm not going to hang out with
No,
you
this
random.
guy flew me out. He wanted to bang me. I fell for it again.
Did she just say she ignored him because he didn't have enough followers on Twitter? Yikes. Maybe she was an e-girl.
2000. That's like, he did the thing where he's like, do you ever come to Britain? Like, when are you in Britain next? And that's always, and he had like 2,000 or 4,000 followers on Twitter at the time or something. So I just like ignored it because that's always, I'm not going to hang out with you random 4,000 follower Twitter account, like I'm not going to respond to your bid to see you next time I'm in Britain. So I ignored it. And then a year later, somehow he's got Tommy Robinson roped into bringing me out there to Romania. But clearly he was a fan of the e-girl, blonde, Lauren Southern brand back in the day. But yeah, very, even when we got there, him and Tristan with their little fancy sports cars showed up, and Andrew was very adamant. I'll be driving Lauren. She's coming in my car. You take the video team and Tommy, Tristan, snap, like go. And then, as soon as I'm putting on my seatbelt, he's talking about what a fan of my work he is and everything. So Yeah, it was weird.
And these,
Very weird.
and so he assaults you. I mean, he's never been convicted, never been charged with this. But it's kind of, there's a pattern here, so it's not, you have no real incentive to make this up. And like nobody, like does anyone take does anyone like, you know what, I had dealings with Andrew Tate, I'm not gonna deal with Andrew Tate anymore, or I'm gonna denounce Andrew Tate. Like, like you're laughing, like this is like
I'm laughing because I was like, I didn't expect it. The best part.
Fuck, I should have been a conservative, dude. God damn, they got it good over there.
Was it was quite the opposite. I had people I know and friends of mine, like Tim Pool, went and did a stream the next day and just said, I think she's making it up. That's all he said. No, hey, Lauren, what's going on? Can you show us like the evidence? Can you send us the reports you have? This, that, and the other. Just she's making it up, And I have a medical document from 2018 report made about asphyxiation, strangulation, 3 years before the Vice News piece came out that was his MO with all these other women that made police reports in the UK that he strangles women. And it's like, did I have a DeLorean? Like before this guy was famous? Like I'm making it up. I just went back in time and made this report somehow knowing he was going to become famous and somehow knowing that was his MO 3 years before. If you do like just a tiny bit of thinking, it's just a bit absurd to come out and just say, well, she's making it up. But they don't, it's not about that. It's about, he looks at algorithms, he looks at what is going to affect his popularity, what he thinks his audience is going to like to hear, and that's what he says. I haven't seen, not a single person within the right-wing media sphere has contacted me to ask me to corroborate, give any evidence, only left-wingers. That was what was depressing. Because it's like, I actually am happy to like talk and corroborate and this and that, but they don't, there's just no curiosity because so many people have gotten themselves invested or connected with that brand and they know it would be bad for them at this point. It's like all the people with the connections to Epstein or whatever. I know you've got, but like you don't want to be, if you've been in a photo with this person, you don't want them having a large news story that says actually they're guilty of this crime.
Yeah. I mean, it's dark. So whatever, like people, so a lot of people don't like you online still. Like the right wing sphere, they're mad at you. Is it all stem from the Tate thing, or like what else are they mad at you about? The fact that
that's part of it. There's been a lot of like Milo published an article in 2019 saying that I slept with men to write all my content. So that was kind of like this big rumor that was spread.
You slept with them and they would write articles for you?
How did Milo, because I remember that person was like the biggest motherfucker on the internet back in the day. How did they lose all of that?
Pedophile stuff. He went on some, I don't even think it was a big podcast, but he made that comment about how like, oh yeah, like I got raped or sexually molested as a kid by a thing. And I think it's important for all gay guys to get sexually molested. Yeah. Half joking, half edgy, half true, and then I don't think that buried him.
That cooked, yeah, it's GG.
Someone said, you can't hide from the truth of my last comment, buddy guy. He said, Destiny doesn't Snow need to be Targaryen, so the lady Targaryen leader, Dany, can be afraid he will take over the crown, so it makes her even crazier and less trusting of anyone and so on. No, I don't think that was that important. She was always going to be crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
It was Rogan? Was it on Joe Rogan? I don't. Some guy said Destiny was on the podcast that Paul's Ego guy and the Amazing Atheist. I think that's what it was. It might have been brought up again by Rogan, but I don't. I think I thought it was first on a smaller podcast on Drunken Peasants.
The thing is, most of my content was like on the ground stuff, so I don't know if they think I slept with God to rewrite reality or like what the logic is there. You don't have to sleep with people to write content for you. They would do it for free, okay? You literally just need to flirt a little. I don't know what that's
pretty desperate. Yeah,
that's pretty desperate, yeah. But he wrote this whole piece and he said he had all of these contacts that were behind the scenes, giving him information that I was sleeping with men for business opportunities. And then it turns out that contact behind the scenes is Andrew Tate. Really? he brags in his war room saying, I'm behind this article, I'm the private contact. So I think Andrew was nervous that I would say something before his career kind of popped off publicly. And then it came out in a Hollywood Reporter article that the Tates actually hired Milo's firm Tarantula to do PR for them. So Milo published a lot of different stories and a lot of like, Lauren's working for left-wing organization, Hope Not Hate. Lauren is a secret left-wing spy. It all sounds so stupid. Lauren sleeps with all these men for content. And that kind of became like my reputation in right-wing circles. But most people don't know that was like paid for and AstroTurf stuff to kind of destroy my reputation before I could talk about the Tate stuff, I reckon.
So Milo was on Tate's payroll, you're saying?
Milo has been hired by the Tates to do PR, yes. And
Milo is such a disturbing, figure. Like sometimes I actually like his content because he goes after people I really hate, like Betty Johnson. Like when he talks about Betty Johnson, the disturbing role, you're saying?
Milo has been hired by the Tates to do PR, yes. And
Milo is...
Hello, Destiny. I've got an important and useful email for you to read that I've been workshopping for the past 3 to 4 months. Would you be willing to give it a shot? I tried to email you about it on X.
It's $50, Steve.
What did you DM me on? When did you DM me on Twitter?
Such a disturbing, figure. Like sometimes I actually like his content because he goes after people I really hate, like Betty Johnson. Like when he talks about Betty Johnson being gay, like I can really enjoy that because just Betty Johnson is disgusting and it's like hanging out in the White House and like that shouldn't be the way the world works. But I still I could separate. He seems like just like a really sadistic person, like who really just wants to hurt people. Is that?
It does seem that way. I think it's one of those hurt people. Like he got canceled back in the day for what was it? Talking about sexual
sex with, I think, with
something
older men, and he didn't think it was adjacent to like the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, but got super canceled for that, and I think just got really because he was like up there. He was on Bill Maher. He was doing speeches all over the country. He was the cream of the crop, like Republican, one of those patient.
Dustin, you read emails from your fans because I feel like I have a lot of insight to provide to hopefully help you refine your debates. I've been workshopping an extensive email for like 4 months. Has 30 different topics and talking points.
Well,
what I don't know what your X account is, and you're not saying anything in chat. Oh, this is 14 hours and 5 minutes ago.
I'll keep an eye out.
Zeros like me that started in this sphere, and they burned him and his reputation completely to the ground. And I think it's like new skill acquired. This is what I'm going to do for a living now. This is what I'm going to do to other people. Yeah. And the thing with Milo is he does say true things, but he will lace it in with so much fiction that it might as well not be true. And he's really good at riling up certain communities and like going after people's careers. I'm unironically, like, I'm happy it happened, as weird as that sounds. Like, I'm kind of happy that all of the like big cancellation of me in the right-wing sphere happened, because I don't think I would have been able to see the system for what it was and how delusional everyone was if this didn't happen. I think I needed to feel a bit of the burn myself, because when you're benefiting from it, when you're making so much money and getting so much worship all the time, you're just not questioning the stuff around you. You have no incentive to.
Yeah, and I mean, there must be a lot of girls out there who've seen everything you've seen and have like even been assaulted or treated poorly and have just like stuck with it because they know nothing else. So.
Oh, I would have stuck with it. That's why they say maybe. No, maybe not.
Well, what actually broke it though? Was it because of the Andrew Tate thing? Is that what broke it? Is that what?
Yeah, even after that, I was like, no, I'm good. I can just ignore this. Like, it makes no. It's simply not good business to ever mention that this happened. Plus, I was like, man, I made a lot of stupid decisions in this situation. Not fun to talk about. Not fun to bring up. I was just gonna like memory hole that forever. It wasn't until like a million different articles started coming out where it's like, wow, there are a ton of other girls getting groomed and assaulted in court cases all over the world. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I actually have like evidence that I can contribute to the cases. And I'm like ignoring, legal emails from people. I'm like, nope, don't even talk to me. And I started to feel like I'm starting to be complicit in all of this, as well as the scams that I was seeing take place in the right-wing sphere. And then I think it was actually the Tenet stuff that broke me. Because I think I looked at, actually twofold. There were two things. It was, I got super canceled over that 2019 article, and then I got even more canceled over my relationship with the liberal streamer Destiny, and also my divorce. All of that.
2019 was the Milo article. Is that what you're talking about?
2019 was the Milo article, and then it was
Holy shit, cinema.
Oh my gosh.
Was the Destiny thing just because you had a relationship with Destiny that people wanted to cancel you over that?
Yeah. Like I saw people responding to your tweet, and they were like, I can't believe you're talking to this grifter. And you're like, what did she do? And they're like, well, her relationship with Destiny. And that's like the end of the world for these people. They can't handle it. They can't handle it.
She would have been a grifter. Wait.
Oh, thank
God.
God.
Was the Destiny thing just because you had a relationship with Destiny that people wanted to cancel you over that?
Yeah. Like I saw people responding to your tweet, and they were like, I can't believe you're talking to this grifter.
I love how girls have a way of coming to their senses at the same time their looks go away. Coincidence? True! She's a fucking witch. I agree. Henrico4994.
And you're like, what did she do? And they're like, well, her relationship with Destiny. And that's like the end of the world for these people. They can't handle it. They can't handle that I would get along with a liberal. And
I think Destiny kind of triggers them. I've been on Destiny's show. I mean, he's got some things, and even you talk about it in the book, where you basically had a fight with him because he said that the guy who got shot at the Trump thing was like an insurrectionist at the Trump rally. He was an insurrectionist anyway.
That's not exactly what I said, but
so like he says these things. I think that he's like, he's an honest enough and like, a smart enough actor to like take seriously anyway. Like he's not making it up. Like the idea that Trump tried to overturn the results of the 2020 election is true. Like how much emphasis you want to put on that or whatever. He's not making it up. He's not like, he's not like out there. He's not a sadist out there just trying to destroy people like Milo. There is like an underlying point to like everything he's saying. So I get why people like really hate Destiny, but I think it's a positive contribution. I mean, there's just so much stupid stuff out there. He's like more honest and more straightforward and more rational than 95% of influencers.
True and based.
Yeah, and I mean, these characters are different in person than they are online as well. And I think people kind of see.
I'm not different in person.
People see the very polished morality signaling characters online, and then when you see them behind the scenes, these people are like,
never.
I don't really care if people are doing drugs or sleeping around. I just don't care. Like that's your own life. You'll grow out of that, or hopefully heal from your addiction. It's not a huge deal to me, but it's when you're portraying like this public face of like virtue, morality, saving the West. So I spent a lot of time seeing that, and then I meet Steven, and this is after I've had all of these experiences in the right wing sphere. I've had my marriage has fallen apart.
I'm Destiny. Okay, wait, is this Newt Gingrich? Is this for real? Instead of fighting over a 21-mile-wide bottleneck forever, we cut a new channel through friendly territory, a dozen thermonuclear detonations, and you've got a waterway wider than the Panama Canal, deeper than the Suez,
fucking idea.
And safe from Iranian attacks. From Newt Gingrich. Okay. Thanks, Newt.
And I don't even know how to deal with that public.
Read the community note. The open letter ends with, the views expressed above do not necessarily represent those of anyone with brain cells. Wait, what?
Wait, is that really his? How many followers on that?
What do you? Is it really his account?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, what? Yeah. He's got a check mark, bro.
Okay, I mean, I guess, yeah, let's do good. Let's
go
to
to sphere.
hole.
I've had time seeing that. And then I meet Steven, and this is after, I've had all of these experiences in the right-wing sphere. I've had, my marriage has fallen apart, and I don't even know how to deal with that publicly, because being like a divorced right-wing woman is not good. And he's just like perfectly honest publicly. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'm a bit of a degenerate.
What?
Being a divorced right-wing woman isn't good. Like, do people actually give a fuck?
Yeah, because it undermines the whole fucking family, whatever bullshit.
But aren't they always going to be mad at women no matter what? I guess it just like adds another thing to like add to the ammunition.
Yeah. No, I mean the broader right wing isn't technically anti-women. That's more the like super extremist spaces. But if you're like breaking traditional conservative values or whatever, then yeah, they'll fucking hate you.
So then where's all the outrage right now about Kristi Noem sleeping with her employee when she's married from the right?
That's different for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe because if you're currently like the guy, like if you're currently the administration, then you have to be defended no matter what. But if you were out, or if they were a content creator or something, or like a host or something, no, I don't know if they would care anyway, though, actually.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying.
If they don't like you, that's
the
the thing that they'll attack you on, basically. Yeah. It just depends on if you're, I guess, in or out with the group. But if you're out of the group, then they'll shit on you hardcore for that, yeah.
Was she out with the group at this point?
Fuck, I don't remember. I feel like her peak was around near the Milo Yiannopoulos peak. And then I feel like... I'm trying to remember.
Because if she's out with the group, I understand. Oh, okay, well, it's an easy attack. We're going to attack her on that. But if she's still in the in-group, I don't think anybody would have honestly given a fuck, just as nobody's giving a fuck about the gnome on the right.
Actually, I guess we would have to go... She probably fell out about 6-ish years ago, because that's when she moved to Australia and she had to stop doing political content when she went to Australia. So it would have been around then is when she sort of become more out-groupish.
Okay.
I do drugs sometimes. I think he had even admitted to accidentally doing meth and having to cancel a debate because that happened. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm bisexual, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, oh, how refreshing. How refreshing. Just someone who actually admits it. Not that different from a lot of the right-wing, like famous men I've met, like the way that he behaves and conducts himself, just very similar. Very similar, but he's just like very honest about it publicly. And I found that extraordinarily refreshing. But yeah, the internet, because our online characters, like...
How do you play multiplayer Slay the Spire? Wait, how many hours do you have in this fucking game?
I don't know. I've got like probably 10 actually. I left it on overnight twice, I think.
Loser.
I mean, I'll play multiplayer.
The writing of this season.
Let me do one run through. I have a call in 4 minutes that I've got to attend. So
the show is not supposed to go this way. They were very upset. Like they have an idea of what my life is supposed to look like, and I'm supposed to be in a kitchen barefoot making apple pies and based signaling all day. You know, having especially because we like really cared for each other when our DMs were leaked. I think we were like saying I love you in them, and people could not deal with that.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, while all of this is leaking...
I was just saying that as part of the pickup artist stuff also, by the way. I didn't mean any of that.
Tenet Media has just been found out to allegedly be an arm of like the Russian government or something. I have Canadian CSIS federal agents on my front door saying you have to become an informant for us or you're potentially going to jail. I'm getting flown out to Ottawa to debate politicians on live stream. The same day, all of my DMs with Destiny are getting leaked to the internet. It psychologically broke me in ways that I cannot explain.
Yeah, it seems like that was different because this seemed like there was a serious possibility. You thought at some point you might like go to jail, right? They were trying to at least convince you of that.
Oh, 100%. I don't think there was any possibility that was going to happen, but they were like that was a tactic they were using, and obviously that's a tactic.
Was that cop you talk about? I forget his name. The Fed. Jason. He was trying to date you, basically.
He was flirty. He was definitely flirty. He kept asking me to go for dinner off the clock, and I'm like, I'm not going on a casual dinner with you. And he's like, feds have to eat too.
This is amazing. So, like, you are
what?
What a Chad. Oh. He was on the clock and trying to date her.
He's working his source.
Like, the feminists kind of have, like, did you dismiss feminism, like, too much? Because, like, I think one of the things I think about the difference between me and you is, like, I'm not a woman. So, like, nobody wants to talk, like, you know, they don't care. They don't all want to, you know, have sex with me. That's, like, not something that everyone I meet in my life or anyone who sees me online is thinking about. But if you're a good-looking woman and that's what you're known for, like, it's everything. It's like you have your fans. They're this. Like, you go someplace. Like, you're being investigated for, like, a federal crime. The guy, like, oh, maybe I can get her to hang out with me. This is an experience, right? This is something that, like, women have a point that men are just kind of like this, always looking for opportunities.
I never looked at the world that way, and I think that was the biggest problem going into the political world. And it also made me stupid because I was under this impression that people would pump my tires because I was so smart. I'm like, I must be saying really smart stuff because all of these men I'm around are agreeing with me and saying I'm so amazing and smart. The idea that they would just be agreeing with me because they want to sleep with me was just completely out of my mental vocabulary, partially because I grew up hyper evangelical. So the men that I was around, it was just a different, the people who claim to be Christians on the internet and in like the right-wing political circles do so for social and political clout. Like they're not people that grew up in evangelical communities the way that I did in a lot of cases, because if they were actually going to churches, they would be pulled in for meetings with their church elders and kicked in. Some of these people that are like holding up crosses and yelling at people on the internet, they would be dragged out of the church by, and I went to a lot of different churches. I went to Mennonite, I went to Baptist, I went to Charismatic, I went to a Pentecostal school until I was 14.
Charismatic? Are these real churches?
And none of the behavior I see from online
Sound like
Christians would
D&D
ever be
classes.
acceptable in any of these circles. So I don't know where these people are coming from, but I just assumed that we kind of had the same mindset and values when I went into the political world. And a lot of these people were just signaling like, okay, it is based to say I'm a monarchist. It's based to say I'm Christian. It's based to say I'm right wing. And this is like these are my pronouns. So yeah, I didn't have the assumption
Medieval
that all these
monarchist,
guys wanted to sleep with
medieval
me.
monarchist racist are my pronouns.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as pronouns. It's the base signaling. It's no different.
Yeah. So that's interesting what you say about religion, because I think that like a lot of, like if you were talking not just like, if you're talking to a left-wing person, like a typical like very left-wing person who didn't like evangelical communities, they would say, oh, they're probably all just like, molesting girls and sleeping around and they're just kind of hiding it or whatever. But what you're saying is that like, no, these people actually live their values. And so when you were 19, you went off into like right-wing media land. You were completely unprepared because your community had actually protected you. Like not everyone was hitting on you when you were 15, 16, trying to sleep with you.
Absolutely. I felt very safe. I like the men that I grew up around were lovely. Like I grew up around really wonderful men, and it did not prepare me for the world.
Did you ever, there's a book you should read about, how much do you know about Roger Ailes and what was going on at Fox?
I watched the Bombshell movie, and then I also watched the TV show. What was it called?
It was on Showtime, yeah. It was the loudest voice.
The Loudest Voice. That was a crazy show.
Yeah, yeah.
Still 20 minutes of this? Okay, fuck it.
Yeah, well, it's based on a book, so if you want to read the book, it's really good.
Wait,
Yeah,
is that the book written by? Okay, I always wondered what happened to the guy that worked for him, and he made him set up the newspaper in his local town. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, no, that's they tell that story in the book, but that's the book. The book is written by.
Okay, I couldn't find that guy's book. It's disappeared off the internet, and I'm like,
I don't know about that book. The other book was Gabe Sherman. He was a Vanity Fair journalist, and so he's always done the Fox News beat, and so he wrote the biography of Roger Ailes, which they just did the show of with Russell Crowe. That's I think that's I brought it up because I think that's probably, it seems like that's what happened. Like a lot of these women are like, I want to be in media. I'm conservative. I'm going to go work for Fox News, and they're all just like a bunch of they're just a bunch of horn dogs like at the top. It's like it's weird. It's like conservative, like the base is like evangelical, normal people, nice people, well behaving people for the most part. There's scandals and stuff. There's there's cases of child molestation and stuff. Not the norm. Like I think you're probably right. Like most of these people who go to church or just in the middle of the country or Canada or whatever are like good, decent people. And then like the top of the conservative movement, they're just kind of they're getting these people's money and their votes, and they're sucking up their women, and they are.
Can you watch the whole security hearing with Tulsi Cash and co? How long is it?
They're just terrible. They're just morally awful in every way, and it's just a very strange dynamic.
And because their base are so trusting and live in such high trust communities within especially these evangelical communities,
why didn't my first card
they can
take
take
energy?
advantage of them so much easier. And I don't know, like I never want to do the thing where I'm assuming whether someone is a real Christian or not, but there kind of does have to be a level of skepticism that exists. Like you look at, for example, Ashley St. Clair. Everyone super canceled her because she's coming out with left-wing statements, and they're saying, well, she's super dishonest, blah, 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 blah. But then the second Russell Brand, who has all these rape allegations about him, comes out and is right-wing and goes against the feminist mantra and leftist mantra that he's been propping up for the last decade, becomes right-wing. Of course, that's perfectly believable. And he's baptizing people on stages now and like got the speaking slot at Turning Point USA and making tons of money. What are we doing here? How can you say that anyone that goes against you is lying? Ashley turning left-wing is a lie, and then Russell Brand turning right-wing, no, that's perfectly real.
Did you see this one thing with he was like, they silenced me for reading the Bible, and he posted like this meme of himself with the Bible. It's just so funny. I love the Russell Brand. It's hilarious.
My favorite thing that happened was not my favorite.
Can you give us general details on what the call was about? I am formally proposing to Mrs. Mooten.
Woohoo!
Not Peach, but Mooten's mom. It's one of that congressional campaign I talked about. Hopefully, working with them in a big way. This
Good memes.
Soon.
This was horrendous, but I noticed it the worst after Charlie Kirk was killed. Because Charlie was Christian, a lot of the evangelical community were getting fired up online. And you saw people who didn't grow up in Christian circles, like they're looking at the algorithm, their head is clicking and they're thinking, okay, I have to do Christian signaling. That's what's going to get a lot of likes right now. Everyone's saying, I'm going to church for the first time ever because of Charlie Kirk's death. It's inspired me. By the way, none of those people are going to church now. Like that was like signaling. But there were like senators, and Greg Gutfeld is a great example. He came out on Fox News and said, I know Charlie Kirk is in heaven right now and Jesus Christ is asking for his autograph. And I was like,
Is that a joke? I mean, Gutfeld's a comedian. Is this a joke? I assume.
No.
I thought Gutfeld was an open.
I'm like, that's heresy. But he was saying, you think he was joking about Charlie Kirk's death?
I haven't seen the
on Fox News?
I've never seen Greg Gutfeld not seem like he was joking. Like everything that comes out of his mouth seems to be tongue in cheek.
No, but this was like right after Charlie's death, where everyone's like making very serious statements. And then there was another guy that said something similar, like Charlie Kirk is a saint, this and that. And I'm like, I can't tell if these people know that they're like committing heresy because they don't understand Christian tradition or religion enough, and they're just kind of like trying to signal Christian stuff right now. But I see it all the time where I'm like, that is a completely improper like reading of biblical. Yeah. Anyways,
you must love the Trump paintings, the one with Trump and Jesus kind of standing side by side.
It's just,
is that real?
There's so much. Yeah.
What? The paintings?
The Trump painting with, yeah, I never heard of that.
I don't know if they're real paintings or just memes on Twitter, but
okay.
This would never fly in the communities. My culture is not your costume.
But that's sad. The evangelicals do love Trump, and they do they do eat this stuff up. So it must be, I don't know, like there must be something there. There must be some compatibility. It can't be kind of random, right?
Well, I think that is where you get the right wing signaling to Christians. Like there is this signaling because it's 62 to 69% of the population in the U.S. identifies as Christian or something. So it's signaling to this base, and they appreciate this.
Are you finally willing to admit the predictive history guy was right about a lot in regards to our ability to go to war with Iran? Have the mountains blocked us? What? Okay.
Signaling, and they assume that it's real. And so they reciprocate. You know, we're praying for you. God bless you. This, that, and the other. And I think it's very genuine from one side. I don't think it's very genuine from the political side.
Can you actually be fooled by Trump? I mean, it's so like you have to. You're right. Maybe they're just so trusting that like you can't even comprehend how trusting they are, because this guy looks like a fraud, and every like intelligent supporter of Trump who's like in his orbit knows he's like not a sincere Christian, right? And that he's
intelligent
like in it for the money.
That's an oxymoron, right?
Wait, who are you talking about?
He said every intelligent supporter of Trump.
Comprehend. You have to. You're right. Maybe they're just so trusting that like you can't even comprehend how trusting they are, because this guy looks like a fraud, and every like intelligent supporter of Trump who's like in his orbit knows he's like not a sincere Christian, right?
Oh, he just means like the people around him, like Rubio, basically, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that he's obviously like in it for the money, and you know he's obviously corrupt and all these other things, and so yeah, it could be maybe that's just it. Like there's a theory that's unsympathetic to these people. Like a left-wing person who writes about Christian nationalism would say, oh, they're all secretly fascist anyway, and they're racist, and they're just looking for a guy who's going to be their leader. And I guess there's a sympathetic version, which is just like they are just really, really naive, and that's why they follow this guy, and that's why they get taken in by this stuff.
Well, yeah, and you have to remember everyone's algorithm is like you're just not seeing stuff that challenges what you think. Like your Facebook algorithm, your X algorithm, even Instagram. I'll go and I like going on some of my friends' accounts and scrolling through what they're seeing. And especially like left-wing or more progressive friends, we see completely different realities. Like our algorithms are just, I'm like, you didn't see this story? You didn't see you didn't see Megyn Kelly saying Mark Levine has a micro penis? No? Oh, that's not on your feed anywhere? Because that's all over my feed, you know? It's just, if you're not seeing anything that questions your worldview and everything is affirming it, and everyone's saying that every day it's a new story about how he's done this for Christians or that for Christians or this for the right or been a hero. Like you're just, what information do you have to combat that?
Did you get any of the Netanyahu is dead tweets?
I saw some people saying that. I literally don't believe anything I see anymore. I don't believe it.
I dunked on it.
Is he dead? Is he alive? I don't know.
No, he's alive. I dunked on it like once or twice, and then it just showed me nonstop, and I became obsessed with Netanyahu videos. It'd be like Netanyahu would release a video, and they would.
Why do you lie about your position on open borders and debates and why do you phrase these questions so aggressively? Why do you lie about your position on open borders in debates/panels? You say no one supports open borders, but then you tell us that you are libertarian on the border. I'm not a political figure. When people are saying the Democrats support open borders, they're not saying Destiny supports open borders. They're saying large Democratic lawmakers or leaders support open borders. So that can't have been a real question.
Be like, he's got 6 fingers, and you look at it and he's got 5 fingers. They're like, it's all AI, and they're like, they would just like look for shadows. Like they would find any video, and like if there's a shadow here, they're like, oh.
Can you give a rundown on who this Richard Hanania guy is? He used to be a think tank writer guy for he used to be like a think tank writer guy for, I don't know who, was it the Heritage Foundation? And then he's like
You said Project 2025 or whatever.
Yeah, which was the Heritage Foundation, right? Fuck you. But now he's like an online commentator / Substack. His main source of income, I think, is Substack now. But he's like a centrist, center-right guy.
Oh my God, this is like they think they're so sophisticated, and they just don't believe real videos because whatever. This is probably Iranian propaganda too. These people are just their minds are broken. It's remarkable. But I thought this was the biggest thing because I thought it was hilarious, and so Twitter just gave it to me like all day, every day.
Yes. Yeah, no, mine does that too. It just I had a friend of mine who got really into flat earth. Do you know anyone who's like really into like flat earth or
No, I don't know anyone that's stupid, but I've seen them online.
So there's like, it's really fun to get into, like the Black Sun, Tartaria, like the people living under the earth. I think and some of these accounts that go really into it, like Joe Rogan has promoted, and they're like, yeah, I found it through Joe Rogan, and I'm like, holy crap, Joe Rogan has one-shotted my friend who smokes weed, like it's over, you know? And they kept sending me these flat earth videos, and I'd watch them, and they'd be those. Did you watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia? You know, the Pepe Sylvia with all of like the lines going. If you look at the corner of this photo, then you can see the underground cities or this or that.
I've seen the meme. Is that the meme with the guy with the
board? With all of these videos were like that, and taking all of these disjointed ideas and photos and like zoom-ins from Google Maps to prove stuff. And then I sent a video about me that was like transvestigating me or something, or trying to figure out whether I was Jewish, doing this. And it's like, so Lauren actually like lives under these tunnels with her Jewish family and is trans and this and that and is the daughter of this famous rabbi from Denmark who works with it. And I'm like, you know, none of this is true because you know me. And this video is done in the exact same way as this like flat earth video you've sent me. Couldn't put it together. I feel like until you have had crazy conspiracies made up about you on the internet, it's hard to, because that's personal. Like you care to look in and see all the flaws. It's hard to understand how these conspiracy videos are put together. I know you'll say it's not hard, but the average person isn't reading like hundreds of books. The average person isn't sitting and watching the information ecosystem. The average person, they get told things by their neighbors and friends that are true, because why would you lie to me in their local communities?
Yeah, they are trying.
Lives in small towns, like big cities. You might have scams everywhere, but the scam economy everywhere in the Western world is a fairly recent thing.
Can you give me your gaming screen?
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's really bad. I mean,
give you what?
Give me the Slay the Spire screen.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't need to see Lauren or this guy.
Cuck.
I want to see the gaming now.
We're gatekeepers, and I think a lot of us were kind of. Let me ask you this: so you did it? It's interesting that your politics are still like it's very rare, and I think I'm kind of like this, like you, in that it's very rare for someone to have such a low opinion of right-wing people and still be right-wing. And so, has this like caused you to rethink your politics? Like maybe these ideas just appeal to people who suck, and maybe that means these ideas are wrong, or maybe I need to rethink things.
Well, the thing is, if you look at when I got into the political world in 2015, the woke land wasn't much better in the sense of, you know, you had the crazy people smearing period blood on themselves at protests. You know, obviously that's the exception. You had people writing articles for BuzzFeed on how manspreading is evil. Sure. There are really dumb people that were accepting progressive views too. Sure. So it shouldn't be surprising that there's also dumb people that would accept like the mass propagation.
The right took over. Like it is like Chuck Schumer is not a scammer in the way Donald Trump is. Like the New York Times is not Tucker Carlson or Candace.
Yes.
But there's something about the right where the very worst people are on top.
I mean, do you ever think it's actually honest when someone comes out and changes every single one of their viewpoints overnight? Do you ever find that genuine?
Did you know Hanania has 2 doctorates? Really? 2? I didn't even know he had 1.
I mean, I'm not telling you to do that. Like, no, I
don't. No, I know, but
I'm still pretty right wing. I mean, I am like right wing on economics. I'm like pretty much anti-feminist. Like, you know, I'm right wing. Like, I like Trump's policy in Latin America. So I haven't changed, 100% of my views. But it just doesn't.
What does anti-feminist mean? Doesn't feminism just mean that you want men and women to be equal?
Everybody has their own definitions for what feminists want. Who knows?
Okay.
So, like, for example, like I love the death penalty. I think I don't get like
you're okay with the death penalty?
No, I love it. Like I want bad people to like. I'm not a Christian. Like I just want bad people to. I think it gives closure to the families. Like I think we're soft if people do horrible things and we don't. But every person who's been really into the death penalty I've ever seen has been kind of like a psycho or like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And so that makes me reconsider. Like maybe I don't want to be in a society where people are all thinking about like me about criminal justice issues, right? So it's like that. It just makes you kind of reconsider things once in a while, which I think is healthy.
No, I have these moments where I'll just be having tea in the morning and I'll like, holy shit, how much of an idiot have I been on this subject or that subject? Like I absolutely have those moments. But I always kind of temper myself with like this: the online world is not real life. Are there actual policy positions that make sense from a right-wing perspective? Yes, there are. Are there actual policy positions and critiques that make sense from a left-wing perspective? Yes, there are. It has to be on a case-by-case basis. I know that's a really boring answer and people don't like it, but I think like if I were to, the only reason I would ever come out and be like, well, I was wrong about everything. There's definitely no issues with the immigration system. There's definitely never been any issues with like Islamic extremism, yada, 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 would be to join a different side of virtue signaling for clout and money. That would be the only reason I would ever do that.
Yeah.
I had a friend, I don't even know if I should say this. I knew someone who worked for like a one of those like SPLC kind of organizations where you recruit and you make people not racist anymore or something, or like you help them get their life back together after they're a Nazi.
Yeah.
And they'd make a joke that it was like a Nazi job recruitment agency where like you just come in here, you say you're not a Nazi anymore, you get the stamp of approval, and then you can go get a job somewhere. It's like you're not actually changing your mind in any meaningful way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, some people just are basically goofballs who will just go with whatever. It's kind of emotional, right? It's like this is
Yeah.
and then this is something else. Yeah. Anyway, Lauren, I'm glad to talk to you. I was a big fan, honestly. It was like 2015. I'm like, this is my favorite person on the internet, and then you disappeared, and then I found your book, and so glad to finally meet you. What are you doing these days? Like, you're on Twitter. Like, what do you do for work? Like, what's kind of like your day-to-day life?
Yeah, I do writing in a non-political sense right now. Just some ghostwriting here and there for work at the moment. Just totally out of the political world.
Ghostwriting.
I'm wrestling. Maybe you can
Ghostwriting.
help me with this. I feel like I've kind of retreated into my walled gardens with the political stuff. I think one of the only ways to heal what's going on right now is for a lot of people to log off and stop ingesting the constant false information. But then they're not doing that. So I'm like, is it actually helpful for me to totally log off forever? Or do I need to start trying to put some good information back into the machine? How do I not get sucked into it? My day-to-day life is basically working my normal job, spending a few hours getting frustrated about the political world, maybe talking with friends, but trying not to get sucked back in. I play sports, I coach volleyball, I teach at my local school. I'm way more grounded in like my day-to-day life, but I don't know. I am considering, like, is there a healthy way that I can get back involved in the political conversation
what's so
that
funny,
isn't
Moon?
posting every?
I mean, out of every sport that she could choose, volleyball? Really now?
And if you ever see a girl in your life who's taller than like 5'7", this girl has always played either volleyball or basketball in school every single time, 100% of the time. You can always hit them up with were you a good volleyball player? If they're like 5'9" or whatever, they're like, oh, how did you know? Because they think that men are retarded. Most of them are, but yeah.
Everyday based signaling or virtue signaling. I don't know. Do you think it's possible for people to be, I mean, I guess you are, to be involved in this in a healthy way?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look, you have to be at peace with the idea that there's like, I hate that like Betty Johnson or like these people like get a lot of attention and are like big, but so you're not going to match them. But what you can do is you can reach, like, if you're making smarter content, the thing is you want to reach as many people, but the people you reach will be smarter and more influential. So they'll be more likely to be rich people or people in politics or people who are actually important. Like you can actually have a voice where it matters. And yeah, I mean, like, especially for you, I mean, you still have your youth. I mean, don't be ashamed that like people are going to want to look at you for being a pretty girl and having kind of the legacy audience. Like,
Still have your
like
youth.
everyone has like advantages and disadvantages, right? And if you want to do serious work, like, yeah, like you could have an audience, like not being a crazy conspiracy. Lead in. I mean, maybe like I lead into the controversy when like people are attacking me. I don't know like how good that is for your mental health if like just like stirring people up, but like stirring people up for like a good reason, like telling you all you're a bunch of stupid lying grifters. Like I think that's healthy. I do that. So yeah, there are options. You don't have to like, just go off and leave politics behind and become a hermit or, whatever. I'm sure you're doing fulfilling and important things, or be a right-wing grifter. Like there is a space for someone like you to have a public profile.
Yeah, it's,
she could become a lib.
It's because I cared so much. And I believed in it. And these people were like my friends, and I'm still friends with some of them. It's so disheartening. And I know I need to get over it, but it's so disheartening to see people lie for money. It's so disheartening to see people believe it all. But I guess you just gotta press on anyways.
Yeah. You should like seriously. Like I'll if you want to talk about it after.
Wait, does this guy wake up as soon as you damage him, or is it like after 5 turns?
He wakes up no matter what on next turn.
Oh. About it later. I'd be glad to. I think like there is a place for you. So I hope.
Oh, thanks, Richard. I appreciate that.
I hope if it's what you want to do, like I hope like to see you out there just having a voice, because we need people who are kind of not grifter and not like changing all their opinions overnight. Like there's some kind of balance, and I think you've got it.
Yeah, just honesty. I really enjoyed reading your articles, by the way. Everyone was saying that you're an evil pedophile or something on the internet. But, you're a pretty good writer, so that balances it out, I'm sure.
Yeah, that forgives the pain. That forgives the pain. Me and Michael, yeah. All right, I'm gonna post this later for people who are joining us late. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, Lauren.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.